So I am excited to share with you guys about growth, which stands for, in Dr. Rimmer's good spirit of having wonderful acronyms, growing resilience out of wellness and thoughtful habits. If I had more time, and probably would if I don't talk so long, but I would have us all kind of talk to each other, kind of look at each other and share sort of what is your happy place. I tend to do this now whenever I start anything and talk about where's your happy place and why, and what is your happy place like look, feel, smell, taste like, and if you don't have a happy place that you can kind of conjure up right now, what do you imagine it being? Like for me, I imagine it being at the beach, just kind of there, zenning out with my family, and often though with the dogs, and that's what I need that day. So maybe just kind of feel yourself in that place wherever you are, and what would be your happy place, and think about that as I get to talk to you about some wonderful work that Nick Pad has given me the honor to help be part of. And I guess I should say too, I think it's important too to kind of understand your why. And I think my most important why is that I am a married mother of 5 sons, and I won't say who my son is, but you could probably tell when we both stand up, because we're both kind of gargantuan tall and kind of blonde. So that is my greatest joy in my world. And about 10 years ago, I learned that I passed on a genetic condition to all 5 of my sons called Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, which is a mitochondrial condition that has many things that happen. The most prominent is vision loss, and that's how I found out about it. And most recently, my youngest son started having grand mal seizures related to this, and so he is 17. So I'm on a quest to learn more about and hopefully start a nonprofit around mitochondrial conditions and metabolic health and brain energy. Brain energy is my new thing because I feel like that really can solve a lot of stuff. And so Christopher Palmer, who has written Brain Energy book, he's a Harvard psychiatrist. If you haven't read his book, I highly recommend it. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm also a good Catholic and think I'm always doing something wrong. So I was like, why am I doing something wrong here? And Georgia Ede, who has a most recent book called Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. And so if nothing else, keto diet is going to cure every brain energy thing in the world. I joke a bit, but I'm coming to understand even more why Dr. Rimmer and probably all of you know so much about why your diet is so important and what it can do for our brains, which can drive a lot of things that are interconnected. So along with that too, we have a lot of mental health stuff going on because of the mitochondria brain energy stuff. But anyway, I kind of get off on that, sidestep that, but I do again think it's important to know our whys and how we show up. So why I'm here though is really to talk about social, emotional, and mental well-being for adults with mobility limitations that we created with a bunch of people. And as I have here, the core values really are about co-leading with the community and co-learning and co-caring. And really it's all about collaborative learning and collaborative work through this. And so I will skip ahead and kind of tell you more about this program and some really fascinating analyses that Salma has done. She was a lovely young scholar, or early career scholar, who spoke yesterday as well about some of her analyses. So I probably go to the next slide. Oh, did I do that? I'm sorry. Again, everything's my fault. So, all right, so mental health statistics. I'll just go with this. It's fine with me. You don't, oh, what did I do? Am I doing that? I'm sorry. So, if you bear with me, we could just, okay. And if you want to advance it, if that's better, is it better for you to advance it or for me? You? Okay, cool. So, I mean, if we didn't have enough stuff going on before the pandemic, we certainly got a lot of mental health stuff going on after the pandemic, and not that it's really after, it's just now. But about 1 in 5 people in the United States have a mental health condition. And we can go to the next slide. And so people with disabilities, though, we see that they have a lot more. And it's about 1 out of 3. And if we go to the next slide, you can see how CDC reports, and we love CDC, adults with disabilities report frequent mental distress about 5 times as often as adults without disabilities. And so we have a lot of co-occurring things that happen. And the way that they measure that is through the number of days we identify as having mental distress over the past month. And 14 or more qualifies. Next slide, please. So I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I love it. This kind of graphic of stakeholders. We're all, stakeholders. We get it. We love it. This is what is, our babies are going to love. And then what do the babies see? A bunch of booties, and it's like, what in the world is happening here? But it's funny, so they're probably laughing and whatever. But so it is important to involve all stakeholders. If the stakeholders involve those in which are essentially the end users, those in which we're hoping to be part of it. So I kind of come with that frame of reference. Just wanted to reiterate that. So yeah, next slide. So development and NCPAD growth probably feels like birthing a few babies because we did have 3 pilot programs. So each one we continued to improve upon, and it evolved through a lot of qualitative interviews. And so I don't know, you could give a shout out, hands, or whatever you want to do. But many of you, I think probably 42 of you are here right now who are participated in helping to develop NCPAD growth to what it is. And so really thankful to you for participating in these interviews, and which really helped us. And I'll show you in a second what was shared with us through these interviews. And I say us, Kalani Upshaw, unfortunately is not feeling well. She does have a doctor's note, so that's why she's not here. But she's been really the co-creator with me in this as well, and so definitely want to acknowledge her from the beginning in helping this. And so we did 42 interviews, and from that had this holistic approach that was clear that we needed to do. So you'll see in the next slide that what everyone shared essentially that they felt that we needed to have as part of the NCPAD growth. And essentially, when we think about mental health, often we think about just sort of the mental health aspects, and many think, well, that means mental illness. And of course, there is this spectrum of what we talk about when we're talking about our mental well-being. And I think of it more, which is what really resonated with what we heard as the social, emotional, and mental well-being, not just social connectedness and how we're feeling and our well-being as well. So what we were told is that they really wanted to have mental health as a emotional stability and well-being, and sort of the mental peace and resilience and self-acceptance as crucial components that they wanted to have as part of that. And the need to manage our thoughts and emotions and how we handle stress, and how can we kind of 5 minutes left, so let me just stop talking so much and just get going with it. All right, so as you can see that there's like these components that were shared with us, the value of social connections, and wanting to have real practical tools, right? So how can I do this? Yeah, it's great to manage my emotions, and what does that look like? So getting a wellness toolbox and empowerment and goal setting to help me get along. Next slide. And here are a lot of great quotes. I won't share all, but maybe just one. Mental health is about feeling a sense of balance and not being overwhelmed by negative thoughts. I want tools that help me redirect my thoughts when I start spiraling. So we'll share these afterward, if you can keep going. So what participants want in the program: practical strategies, actionable techniques, guided peer support, and community building. So it's not just about helping me, but helping me with others and others helping each other, so that it's really building that connections and community. And having a trauma-informed and inclusive approach. It's really critical that we recognize we all come to today, any day. Poor Alex had to hear me say, last night was a lot. And so we all have our days and nights and where we come to our spaces, and even just recognizing that it takes a lot to get up in the morning to just come to today. Of course, we're so super looking forward to it, but life happens, and whatever may be facing, whether you have chronic pain or what, I need to stop talking. So thinking about that. And these were kind of the key well-being strategies that we heard through the interviews, that we needed a range of them, and being able to really parallel a lot what Mentor is about. So next slide. And I won't talk too much about this, but of course I love community-engaged, iterative approach to having lived experiences. So where are you at? So a good partner now in a lot of everything that I do. Tim Behrens was like, okay, we really got to get this paper out because everybody's talking about it. So Dr. Rimmer, we're getting you that paper. But so many benefits: enhanced relevance, effectiveness, and trust building. And if you sort of do it in a way that everybody resonates with, it's not just, okay, we've created it, grants over, hope you're doing okay, but more we're building strategies that we can use. And next slide, and authentic engagement, diverse perspectives, and empowerment and ownership. So they see what they're designing. And I know I need to go. All right, so another thing that I really want to emphasize is that this is really specific. What we've developed with for growth and for NCPAD is disability specific. It's not just, okay, do cognitive behavioral therapy, but how can you do cognitive behavioral therapy with examples that are true to everyone and can make sense of it. And so we'll talk about the next frameworks that are there. So who knows about spoon theory? Yay, some, not everybody. I love me a spoon theory because I ain't got that many spoons this morning, if you know what I'm talking about. But I'm just joking, kind of. But spoons kind of represent your units of energy, as an analogy. 1 minute, and so we'll talk about them more, look it up. But basically, as you can imagine, how many spoons do you have? It takes me like 5 to get out of the bed in the morning, and then if you got 10, I'm doing good to get through the day. But you can use it as an analogy whenever. And addressing ableism, so really important when we're trying to impact social, emotional, and mental well-being, to talk about ableism and all forms of ableism. So we'll keep going. Self-advocacy was really clear that we needed to have self-advocacy as part of this. And crisis, resource, and referrals. So really important to never do something like this and not be able to share how to deal with what we're talking about. And if you want to just keep going, I can make a point for each slide, kind of, because I know we need to go, and I recognize it. And I'm not going to pull a Dante. I was just joking. So time's up. Motivational interviewing. If we could just click through, I do want to show you the slide that says what we do. And appreciative inquiry is really important, but we could get to the part in trauma-informed, if we get to the part where it shows the slides about growth, and it's essentially a well-being program is here, focused on coping strategies and everything they told us that they wanted. Next slide shows you that these are sort of the therapies that we talk about: cognitive behavioral therapy, acceptance commitment therapy, as well as evidence-based self-care strategies, and those that are here in the displayed. And I love this quote, and this was really from one of our stakeholders sharing how it's so important to have something like this. And she was more talking broadly about NCPAD, but inviting them to say it's like having a personalized health coach and social worker by your side, supporting you, answering your calls, and making the journey enjoyable, along with a community of friends who have shared life experiences. So next slide, and these few to show you basically it's working. So as you can see, there's, this is, again, Selma, shout out if wherever you are. The number of growth participants, and there's a variety of people participating. On the next slide, it shows that the surveys that we have, and then the next two will show that there are significant differences pre and post on their mental health self-efficacy and what they report on a number of dimensions in terms of generalized anxiety disorders and physical health questionnaire, and the psychological distress, which is all really amazing. What we do is just twice a week for 6 weeks, and an hour each time, and then hold 15 minutes at the end for continued building community and just talking. So where are we now? We did the 3 pilots, just finished wave 7, gonna start wave 8 soon. And I just wanted to share this beautiful thing. So our stakeholder advisory board made up of the growth participants, Patty Erickson Taylor. She lives in Cape Cod, poor thing, and she has a love of taking pictures. And this is a picture of her on Cape Cod, taking a picture out to, beautiful Cape Cod. And Jane Elizabeth Birdshaw, while we were talking about the importance and what it all meant, basically what she heard was Gandhi's reference here: your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. And it was just a beautiful thing to how that was all sort of just co-created because people were having shared experiences. And so I just want to thank you all, and especially Dr. Brimmer, who just always is pushing and providing opportunities and really being just a godsend. And to all of you, and particularly NCPAD staff, for always just making things happen so well and being so supportive, and of course the pilot participants. And I want the group to stand up too, who, Emma, who's a mental health coach now, so proud of Emma, and then Jessica Azrin and Connie Click, and of course Tim Behrens, and everybody, and I'll stop, I know, but,